I'm Ozzy Osbourne, and I'm the Prince of Darkness.
Cut! The Lich King is the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy.
Well, maybe you're the one who's been riding a crazy train, but I've been the Prince of Darkness since 1979.
There can be only one Prince of Darkness.
World of Warcraft. Try it for free at warcraft.com.
Rated T for Teen.
What's your game?
What is going on, fellow YouTubers and Twitch viewers? This is HeathNation2465, and welcome to episode 35 of the Berserk and Nasty podcast. I am, of course, doing this solo because I was supposed to get a bunch of other people on, but it looks like everybody kind of is busy right now. I, myself, was not really wanting to do this podcast because of the fact that we only have like a few stories. And I had a really strenuous day at work. So, but I'm here, it's all that matters. We only got like 3 stories that we're going to talk about. So, the first story that we're going to bring up here, so as you can see here, I normally don't do this. So, Andy earlier today slid this across my table while I was at work. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Cincinnati Music Festival is a yearly thing for us. It's one of our landmark events here in the Queen City where a bunch of artists come together, show off their music, show off their talent, show the beauty of music, whether it be local or like from the country or from different countries, what have you, right? And this apparently happened later that night. I think it was on like a Saturday or something like that. But Andy slid this across my table. And yeah, it's basically a group of people beating up on a couple. I don't think I've seen like the first 15, 30 seconds. But, yeah, let's take it.
Damn! Woo! Woo! Oh, shit! Oh,
You fucking ridiculous. And the people holding the cameras, they ain't fucking doing anything about it either.
Damn!
Oh, you're a fucking pussy. This motherfucker right here. You're really gonna sock a woman out of nowhere? Yeah, you're really fucking tough, aren't you? Just socking a poor defenseless woman out of nowhere, aren't you? You think you're fucking hot shit.
Oh, shit! Oh! Whoa! Whoa!
Wow, look at me, guys. I have my fucking jeans sagged down. I just socked a woman in the face. I'm a fucking tough guy. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Whoa!
Raise her up, you fucking cunts. Thank you. See, that made sense again.
Whoa!
Hey, kudos. Who the fuck was that? Who the fuck?
Whoa!
Yeah, kudos. I don't know if this guy was a part of it, but it looks like he was trying to, like, stop the shit. But kudos to him for fucking speaking up.
Whoa!
Motherfucking cameraman, just shut up.
Wake her up!
Yeah, get her up. Get her up.
Help her up!
So, fucking stupid. Shout out to my boy Andy. Shout out to my homie. This comes with an article. Let me look at the chat real quick. There's nobody. That's okay. This came with an article. This is reported by the Cincinnati Enquirer. This is not who we are as a city. The mayor comments on viral. Well, thank you, AFTAB, you fucking dumbass. 5 people have been charged in connection to a fight that happened in downtown Cincinnati early Saturday morning. Cincinnati Police Chief Teresa Thiege, hopefully I'm pronouncing that name right, said Monday. Thiege did not release the names of those charged. You should, honestly, because we need to know who those fucking hooligans are. We need to know who these animals are. Because this is ridiculous. And said she expects more people to be charged. Good. Multiple videos of a fight in downtown Cincinnati circulated on social media over the weekend, raising safety concerns for a city that has made a recent push to reduce crime in its urban core, which is true. They've been trying to do a lot. We've been trying to do a lot of programs in Cincinnati. That is for damn sure. But it's just been really hard because you get... I'm going to save my rant for later here. Signal 99, a Facebook page, what calls itself a spicy meme page for cops, firefighters, medics, and dispatchers. Why? Just listen to what the fuck that says. Do you think any of those guys... I mean, if it's to help out with officials and getting people arrested, fine. But you're really going to sit there and call it a spicy meme page for first responders? No. Do you think any first responder would want to see a fucking meme page like that where people are getting their asses beat? Like 1-800, come the fuck on. So, shared the video in the morning of July 26th, so 2 days ago. It went on to gain traction on multiple platforms, including on mayoral candidate and J.D. Vance's half-brother, Corey Bowman's own Facebook page. And additional angles of the incident have also been shared. Elon Musk and Harmeet Dillon, Assistant Attorney General for the U.S. Department of Justice's Civil Rights Division, also weighed in. Claimed the fight took place at the corner of 4th and Elm Street. I know where that at. During the evening of Friday, July 25th. Ridiculous, man. This is just fucking stupid. Fucking stupid. Like, alright. Cincinnati has been trying to establish itself as the main hub for tourism. And we've been doing a lot. We've been renovating a bunch of stuff. We've been trying to reduce crime, especially in these areas. We've been trying to take initiative, right? But you get these fucking animals who will sit there and start a bunch of shit for street cred, and they get further pushed along by these jackasses like that one douchebag that works for the Cincinnati NAACP. They get pushed along into doing this shit and then get backed up because their culture is oppressed and whatnot. And it's fucking stupid. And I think their names should be revealed. So that way we know, hey, you know, these assholes did this shit. And it'll make them think twice before they fucking do stupid shit. You know what I mean? Anybody join the Discord? No. Shouldn't be sharing that. Anyway. That's my take. I didn't want to spend too much on it. But yeah, this is fucking ridiculous. Anyway, let's go on to a little bit lighter stuff. We're into the legality part of this. I know I'm a little bit late to this party, but I kind of wanted to just see what would happen. And because there were a lot of developments to the story, and I just wanted everything to simmer down a little bit before I talked about this. So, Stop Killing Games Initiative. What is it exactly? Well, Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement started to challenge the legality of publishers destroying video games they have sold to customers. An increasing number of video games are sold effectively as goods with no stated expiration date, but are designed to be completely unplayable as soon as support for the publisher ends. This practice is a form of planned obsolescence. I'm tired, don't expect me to fucking pronounce this shit. Is not only detrimental to customers, but it makes preservation effectively impossible. Furthermore, the legality of this practice is largely untested in many countries. So the Stop Killing Games movement, to put it lightly and to the point, it's all about game preservation. Especially with this new age of gaming where a lot of our games these days are tied to servers. And they're tied to clients because of the fact that they can be digitally downloaded. As opposed to just playing on a disc where everything is stored, whatnot. And the main goal of this movement is to get pushed to the European Citizens Initiative, the ECI, so that way this whole movement can go to Parliament for the European Union. And at that point, they can take action. Because if anything happens in Europe specifically, it will then trickle down to everywhere else, including the United States of America. So, as you can see here, it passed its goal of 1 million signatures, and that count is still rising to this point. Like right here, the petition to the UK government, UK citizens and residents. If it passes 100 signatures, new law will be considered to be brought before Parliament. Yeah, that's for the UK. When it comes to the ECI as a part of the European Union, that's a whole different animal. So if you are a member of any of the countries that involve the European Union and would like to see game preservation as a thing, especially in these newer generation games, make sure you sign the petition. And I want to be able to highlight just how big the idea of game preservation is. I'll give you a little bit of a segue. Let's talk about one of the games that I just recently played. Soul Calibur 1. One of the greatest fighting games ever. And so if you said it's the greatest, I wouldn't get mad at you for it. There's one problem with this game, though. it is really hard to find. Unless you have a Sega Dreamcast, and those things are not particularly big in the market these days, you're shit out of luck. That's why people these days, they have to rely on emulators. Give me a second here. I'll pull up my emulator real quick. Let me pull it up. Where is it at? Yeah, I don't want to reveal too much. Downloads. Here it is. So, if you wanted to play a game like the original Soul Calibur that's hard to access, you would do it from right here on the Redream emulator, which is a surefire way to make sure you have access to the game while at the same time preserving a piece of gaming history. Because like I said, Soul Calibur is one of the best fighting games of all time, and a lot of people would like to have a piece of that history at the palm of their fingertips without having to go through a certain amount of loops in order to achieve that experience, such as buying a console that is so outdated it's practically forgotten about. Now, compare that to another great fighting game that you have seen on my channel, Mortal Kombat 2. Mortal Kombat 2 is relatively more easy to find in this day and age. We just heard about the Legacy Collection dropping. That's a good place to play it. If you guys have seen my streams, you know that I have the arcade collection from the PlayStation Store on PS3. It's another good way to do it. And if you happen to have a copy of Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, you can either complete tasks during the conquest of that game given to you by Smoke, or you can input a button code at the main menu to be able to access the original MK2. So there's already stuff in place to secure the classics, but when it comes to this newer age of gaming, such as with games like The Crew, which is the main point, the main crux of how this movement got started, for a game like The Crew that could be played single player, offline, but it's forced to be online, which could be shut off at any moment, that is what Stop Killing Games is about. Despite everything that pirate software douchebag said, and besides everything that these publishers and these developers are saying, this is a step towards game preservation, and I'm all for it. Since we're done with that topic, let's talk about the main story of tonight. So, VTubing. For me, VTubing is kind of like the furry community. You either love them or you hate them. Like VTubers, I'm neutral. I mean, there's some VTubers out there. Hell, one of my favorite streamers at the moment, Fire, she is a VTuber who hangs out with Den Hawken and Krista Joe. Two prominent names that you have heard on this channel before. So, it's hit or miss. I'm neutral on it. I can kind of understand why people don't like it. Oh, the cringe anime titties and whatnot. I get it. You know, it is what it is. But, I mean, it's a polarizing topic. But one of the big... let me throw it back. VTubing itself has become its own market, to the point where companies are being established that can help people take off in the VTubing hemisphere, make their own avatars, make their own emojis for their streams, their YouTube videos, what have you, right? And one of the big companies was V Shoujo, right here. And just recently, they've come under a lot of bullshit. So let's take a look at this. This is from Fox 13 over in Salt Lake City. VTuber agency Shoujo, excuse me, to shut down after most of its streamers quit. US-based VTuber agency Shoujo, I'm gonna have a hard time. Let's just call it VS. We'll call it VS. How about that? VS is shutting down, the CEO announced on social media Thursday. This comes after a mass exodus of talent from the company over reports of unpaid revenue, including money raised by charity. In a statement posted on Twitter, or X, whatever the hell you want to call it, VS CEO Justin Gunrun Ignacio, God damn these names, says the company is shutting down due to his own mismanagement. This is the statement that they put out on their Twitter. VS has failed, and I've mismanaged the company into the situation you are all witnessing. So today I'm sharing the difficult news that VS is shutting down, and I'm taking full responsibility for the decisions that led us to this point. So what were those decisions exactly? Let's find out. The controversy first began when one of VS's most popular streamers, Iron Mouse, suddenly announced her departure from the company on July 21st. In a video posted on her YouTube channel, she stated that she was owed a significant amount of funds and further mentioned that over $500,000 in donations she had raised for the Immune Deficiency Foundation during a charity live stream had yet to be paid to the organization. Gee, hundreds of thousands of dollars in donations for a charity not being paid. Where have I heard this story before? Completionist. Anyway. Following Iron Mouse's announcement, several streamers who are also under contract with VS had left the company, with many also stating that they had yet to be paid revenue they had earned. You're seeing where this is going, right? Let's continue. In a same statement on X, Ignacio said the company failed to generate revenue to keep its doors open. He further states that some of the money used to keep things afloat had come from streamers' revenue, but did not mention Iron Mouse nor the IDF by name. Damn. Throat's clogged up. I acknowledge that some of the money spent by the company was raised in connection with talent activity, which I later learned was intended for a charitable initiative. The statement reads, that part of the statement is contradicted by several previous social media posts, including one where Ignacio himself congratulates Iron Mouse on successfully raising the funds during her stream. There it is right here. You did it, Mouse! Ah! Sorry. Many former streamers have since responded to the Ignacio statement, taking issue with the fact that there was no communication with just how dire things were for the VS. VS didn't just fail, many staff and leadership failed VS, says former streamer Gija in a direct reply. Instead of using talent money on operating costs, the company should have shut down or at least informed us, but you used us as cash cows to keep things afloat while keeping us in the dark. It's not looking good. As for the IDF, in Iron Mouse's original video announcing their partner, she directed viewers to a fundraising link where viewers could donate directly to the nonprofit. At time of reporting, the campaign has raised over $1.3 million, which is awesome. The overwhelming response prompted President and CEO Joray Berry to post a video where she thanked Iron Mouse personally. Good job. Even in the midst of challenges, she thought of us before herself, says Barry. What has been raised in less than 48 hours is surreal, overwhelming in the best positive way. And then it just goes into... Yeah, so... if you look at this statement right here, our funding went directly to growth for job splits to do that some of the money was raising connection to talent activity, which I later also tell. We were working hard to raise additional investment capital to cover our boss internally. So, what this says to me, from looking at that, it's either embezzlement at worst or someone just not being able to manage the books properly on how money is being moved around and distributed. And it's just not a good business model, especially if you're withholding pay. Like, you're better off just saying, look, we're a little bit behind on our payments here, because of our capital issues here. But no. Not only did you lie about that, but you lied about donating those funds to charity. Which, like I said, it's just, ugh. We've already learned from the completionist saga on what happens when you don't allocate money to the proper funds here. So this is basically a similar situation. Instead of a big YouTuber, though, we're talking about a big organization. And honestly, they had it coming to them. We were unsuccessful in our fundraise. I made this decision to pursue funding, and I own its consequences. Well, you shouldn't have just... That's the thing. You should have just been upfront with the people that were investing money for you to make their avatars. If you were just upfront and said, hey, this is the situation, this is our issues with our money and whatnot, they would be understanding, and at that point they could take initiative to pursue different ventures, or even work with you guys to be able to get back on your feet. But that's not what happened, and that's the fucking result of it. It is what it fucking is. Anyway, like I said, short podcast tonight. Yeah. I gotta get a cold shower. It's been a long day, and if you guys enjoyed this episode and would like to see more, make sure you subscribe with notifications on. Sorry if it was all short notice. We have a lot going on this upcoming week, though. Saturday, the Stadium Series. The Speedway Series, I should say, between the Reds and the Braves. That's going to be on Saturday. I do want to do a watch party for that. And then Sunday will be night 2 of SummerSlam, whereas that Saturday will be night 1, but I'll be focused on the baseball game, and then night 2 will be SummerSlam. So be on the lookout for that. I might do a watch party for that as well. Till next time.